Our final video of this little part of the spreadsheet is going to be about calculating the insurance tax and the total cost. Here's where the total cost is mentioned. Okay, the total cost of the car includes all of these charges, so we'll do that later. The insurance premium tax is currently 5% of the insurance premiums. If we have a look at the charges table here, that's where we know it's 5%. Now the insurance, that's what we're going to look at first. So this is charged depending on the type of car and whether or not CCTV is fitted. If CCTV is fitted, then there's going to be a 25% discount overall. That's where we know it's a 25% discount. The insurance for manual transmission vehicles is 15%, and for automatic it's 12%. We also know that it's charged per year, so that's going to be over the lease. Okay, the lease term, right, needs to be multiplied by the whole thing. So there's two ways we could find out which transmission we're going to use, which is manual or automatic. One is to use an if function, which I'm going to show you very quickly, but we won't actually use that. So I'm just going to change this to most recently used because we've used the if function recently now. If I select the if function, our logical test is going to be to find out if our transmission is manual. And if our transmission is manual, so T4 equals manual. If our transmission is manual, then on the charges sheet we want to use 15%. If it's not manual, so if it's false, it's got to be automatic, so we'll use 12%. Okay, and what that does is it gives us a rate. It's only the rate. Okay, we would then need to multiply that by the list price and multiply by the term, and then we'll have to do the discount. So the other way of doing it is to use a lookup function. So if we go to function, we'll choose lookup, and we're going to look up the transmission value. So here we're going to look at C4. The table we're going to look it up in is going to be the charges table. So here we go, manual or automatic. So it's going to look at manual or automatic there, and our column index is going to be the second column. Now manual and automatic aren't in alphabetical order, and we want an exact match. So under range lookup, okay, for an exact match we have to say false. Right, so if we click on OK now, we can see that we get a value of 15. If I change this to automatic, we get a value of 12. That's not what we want though, because that is only the rate. So the rate, which is a percentage, needs to be multiplied by the list price, which then needs to be multiplied by the term, the number of years. This takes us up to everything except for working out the discount. Okay, and the discount is basically going to be about whether or not CCTV has been installed. So to determine if the CCTV has been installed, we need an if statement. That if statement will say something along the lines of, if CCTV is true, then apply a discount, otherwise don't apply a discount. So what we actually need to do is multiply by whatever this discount rate is going to be. So up here in our formula bar, we're going to add a multiply on here, and then we're going to put our if statement. So to get our if statement, we'll press FX because that will put it in for us. And here's our insert function. So we'll choose if, and we'll click on OK. So our logical test is going to say if CCTV is true. Okay, so if C6. If it's not true, we'll do this one first. All we're going to do is multiply everything by 1. We're going to leave it as it is because there'll be no discount. So that's the easy one to do. If it is true, then we need the value of the discount. So if we go to charges, here's the value of the discount, 25%. Now you'll see that that comes out as 0.25, what we're multiplied by. Now that's not right because that will give us 25% of the insurance premium. We don't want 25%, we want to take off 25%. So to take off 25%, we need 100 minus 75 to give us, 100 minus 25 to give us 75, which is the same as, in this case, 1 minus the 0.25, and that will give us 0.75. So what I'm going to do is put 1 minus charges B9, and you can see that gives us 0.75. So that will multiply everything now by the discount rate if one exists. So let's click on OK, and we can see now there's our insurance. Okay, so we now need to calculate the insurance tax. This is fairly straightforward. It's going to be the insurance multiplied by the insurance tax rate, which is on the charges worksheet. There it is, insurance premium tax, otherwise known as IPT. But we have to remember we've also got to multiply it by the term. Okay, so if we go back to our pricing model, let's just get rid of that because we don't need pricing model to show up there. And we'll click on where we've got the term. It's put in that again, so we'll just delete it. Okay, so it multiplies by C3. And then our total, straightforward auto sum. Press enter, and that is a figure you should have if you've put in all the values that the question asked for, £11,854.25. Something to note before we finish, and that is that all the way through here, on these three things, we were having to multiply by the term of 3 years. That's this task in a similar but different scenario to the real tasks. In the real tasks, everything is just done for a one-off. You don't need to worry about the term at this stage of the model because it has nothing to do with it. This is a leasing model. The real tasks are a mortgage model.